'Tis the season for gathering gratitude, which is literally what I am in the midst of doing right now in my life. It's a very busy time of life. It's never too busy, though, to gather the things around us that we love to make and create with, and especially to write about the things that we are observing and we are seeing and that are having an impact in our life. Hi, I'm Jamie Pate. Welcome to this video. If you've been part of the class that is Grateful Today, then you know there's a big emphasis right now on gratitude. And inside my album, as I already showed in a walkthrough video, there is a journal insert in the back that I have been working on and working through. It's a little bit that I have so far in here. And if you've taken the class, you know there are some printables for a couple of options for adding in gratitude. One of the things I'm going to do here, though, is the back of my book. I have trimmed out a piece of mixed media paper from 12 by 12, and it just happens to fit inside my insert. So grab your gratitude journal, grab your book, make your measurements, get some mixed media paper, and I just want to share yet another way that I am gathering gratitude right now. And that's by way of having an artful space, which is this book right now and all the pages that are involved inside of it, and having thankful moments. It's been a habit of mine for many, many years. It's a habit I'm actually thankful for. It came by practice. It didn't come automatically. But what's so great for us makers is that we get to then add to it with our creativity. And so I want to craft a gratitude page, but that's embellished. I just want to, I don't do this for every page, but sometimes I just got to get the stuff out and I just got to add the layers. And I want you to join me today in that. So I'm going to kind of give you a bit of a formula as to how that's going to work in this particular, on this particular page. And then you can mix up that formula and do something totally different. But I hope you enjoy this. I've just gathered a couple of items here that to me scream gratitude, gratefulness, the season in which is still surrounding me right now. This Oak Lane by ScrapbookCom is a beautiful collection of, there's so many things I want to do with this collection, but I did grab it to just die cut some die pieces that I just have ready for these clusters. So just really quick, let me share with you, because I get lots of questions about this. I have this Oak Lane die set. It's a huge die set. It's 28 pieces. And I have some of the leaves off of here someplace else that I was working on this. And so I have cut up flowers, I've cut up leaves, and they all have these great cuts within them. It's deeper than an emboss. It's rather beautiful. And so I have this hello sentiment that's from that. And like I said, the florals and the leaves, part of the components that I'm going to add to this embellished page. Then there's these nested elegant circles. And this was just kind of an extra thing I was playing with, but I wanted a sort of circle. Look at that paper. This is from the Oak Lane. Look at that stripe. I might just need that stripe size, but we'll see. So that's one of the things I just went ahead and die cut. And kind of as I die cut, I kind of have an idea of where things are going to go, but I'm not always sure. So I just like to have a bunch of extra things. I also use this vintage label. And again, not quite sure if it's going to make an appearance today, but at some point in time, it shall make an appearance. So I'm going to set some of these things aside today. Oh, something else I have. 49 Market has these framables. I think they're called framables. And this is just a couple of them. And so I grabbed them with we'll see how that's going to play out here in our embellishments as well. Always with script stamps and some more of the the fall stories rather from 49 Market 6x8 rub-ons, which are absolutely beautiful. I'm also probably going to grab some other vintage and fall rub-ons as well. And you know what I'm probably not going to use? I know, brace yourself here. I don't think I'm going to use any ink today, except for maybe the stamping on the script. I know, isn't that crazy for me? Let's see how it goes, okay? Because you just never know. So to start, I am going to begin with the rub-ons that I have. And what I'm going to do is I'm not terribly worried about how much of my rub-ons are going to show. I mean, I'm going to start by adding, whoa, almost cut right through that one. Got a little crazy there. Slow down your roll, Jim. All right. I'm just going to kind of add some things in with the idea that there's going to be a lot of clustering happening here. I get a lot of questions, though, about adding rub-ons, and I totally get that. Rub-ons are just so precious to us, right? I mean, if we're going to invest in them, and when we utilize them, we want them to be placed exactly where we want them to be placed. I'm a fan of, with these fall stories, I bought 2 sets because I knew. And they have sold out, what, twice? At least twice? Maybe 3 times already? They're back in stock as of this second in time. But it was good for me to have 2 packages of these. And I haven't even broken into the second package yet, and I did a whole entire class with them. But this is just such a very beautiful and lovely way with rub-ons. There's some beautiful options here. So I knew I wanted to have something here. I got a lot of clustering down here, so I think what I'm going to do with down here is, what's she going to do? She's going to add in, oh, it's not even attached. I'm going to add in this. I'm going to kind of come down on the edge a little bit. And again, it might get covered up. It might not. I might be inclined to not cover it up because I don't want to cover it up. All right, so I'm just going to get that transferred on. And when you start to practice with rub-ons and putting them in places, you too might define for yourself a pattern in which you will utilize certain rub-ons. So these are very blendable, if you will, watercolor-esque. They lend themselves to be something for a background. So I believe the more you use them, the more you're going to feel comfortable with, yes, I want this to be up in my corner, up in the corner of my paper. And yes, I want to bring it down to this corner. I want it to kind of go off the page a little bit, and I want to be comfortable with that. You'll get used to what you find really works for you. But you got to get them out, and you got to play, right? You got to play. All right. So at this point, I'm going to move on to some of the script stamping. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I'm primarily going to focus on this side today, but one of the things I would probably do is that... Okay, so instead of probably, I went ahead and cut it out, and I'm going to go ahead and set it down here in this bottom left-hand corner. I'll leave this up here blank, and this will just kind of sit and hang out for when I come back and do this page. But I figured, you know, if I'm going to use it, let me just go ahead and show you this in place. I keep losing my handle on the rub on there. All right, so I want to make sure everything is where it needs to be, and I carefully come up looking to make sure. Boy, that does not want to go down right there. Okay, there we go. And the great paint splotches that are here. Got one more splotchy here. I'm just going to, whoops, reposition this and transfer those on. The next thing I'm going to do is take the letterbox remnant stamp from Art and Creative Studio. Just kind of tapping. I'm not even using a block. I don't want it to be a solid rendering of the script. I want it to be fairly ethereal. Since we have this over here and I have the ink out already, I'm going to add some over here as well. And I am layering over the rub-ons as well. So just adding more blending to it. It's a very beautiful and fun technique. I'm going to come over here on the edge here a little bit, and then this is going to be good for the ledger stamping. So to my point from earlier, again, I very, very typically I'll bring in inking. Didn't really want to this time, but bringing in a script stamp and just kind of here and there with some random stamping really kind of fills it in, and it doesn't feel like a blank page at all. So look what we've done so far. We've done some rub-ons, we've done a little bit of inking, and now we're going to start bringing in some embellishment pieces. Okay, from Oak Lane, at the back of the patterns, there is the striped, this brown and cream stripe, which, I don't know, stripes just get me every time. So this isn't going to go into play yet, but I kind of knew I wanted a contrast of a piece of pattern paper in here. And so that's why I went ahead and trimmed it out to about... It's about an inch. It's an inch wide. And I did it in such a way, you know, the paper goes like this, but I turned it so that we could actually make use of the stripe being vertical and having its contrasting aspect. Oh, her words are eluding her, and so is her V. So she's going to fix the V notch here a little bit. It's a bit wonky, and I don't want it wonky. So what's probably going to happen here is I'm going to want it to live there, but I have some other elements that are going to go in here, and so it's just going to probably, let's see, I'm going to grab a piece of... I'm going to grab the roll-on adhesive, the dot adhesive, because it's a temporary adhesive. I'm just going to set it in place so that it doesn't move. Remember earlier I shared these elegant circles with you? They're just so pretty. How many? There's 9 of them. And so I knew I wanted a round element. And what's great about round elements is it could come all the way in here like this. I want it to kind of be over the edge. And what's going to happen when I put it back inside of my journal is that I'm going to have a little bit of this showing, almost like a tab. Super simple thing to make happen there, but I think I like it. And I'm going to just come in here. I'm going to make sure I like what, okay, I'm going to have it, there's different ways this circle is hanging out here. And so I am going to just make sure I like the orientation. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to come in here and just give it a staple, and my circle's in place now. So then at this point, let me get these rub-ons out of the way. At this point, oh, I just love this so much. I'm going to be grabbing a lot of things that I'd love to add to any and all of my embellishing. So that includes leaves, and I had an assortment here from the Oak Lane that is going to come into play. That includes florals. I cut kind of the same, there's 3 different flowers that are in that die set, and I decided to cut all 3 of them from one of the dot papers that belongs to the Oak Lane. And see, that's not going to work because it's brown. That's okay. And so I'm going to just kind of play with that. But the thing that it really needs first is labels and tickets and postage. So I have a growing assortment because I get asked all the time about organizing the pieces. And I literally just have not had the wherewithal to get elements organized like I'd like them to be. And what I'm probably going to go pull right now is, well, let's see. Do I like this one here? No, I don't hate that one there at all. So it's just a label. This one came from one of the classes that we did this year, but this could be any label. And it could even be something from, you know, these framables. There's a label in here that we could have even used as well. And I might still also, because it's just the way I work. And what I'm doing at this point is just kind of tucking and placing. Now, these are all kinds of 49 and Market tickets. Just as collections get smaller, I will then come and put them in this particular box that is all tickets. And I'm finding this works out pretty well. I think I want this long ticket here because it crosses all the way over my elegant circle. It crosses over this too, and I think it provides some background interest. I might not use this one after all, which is okay, but I'm probably going to want to use the document the story, so it's just going to hide right there for a minute. I'm also going to want to find postage that fits in here. This is a lot of also 49 and Market postage, and this is just going to kind of live in here just like that. And then so to adhere that, I'm going to grab some foam, and I'm going to go ahead and put this label. Well, let's get this with a foam piece also. This is going to kind of be anchoring everything for us here. This will be at the very back, and then this label will hang out there. And then deciding on where the postage is, I'm going to put a piece of foam right there in the corner so that it can adhere kind of on the other side of this label here. So it's going to come up here like that. So it's popped up from the back circle element, but it's kind of flat here on the label. And at this point, I'm just going to start tucking in some florals. And this could be foam tape. This could be hot glue. I love hot glue. It's kind of quick, fast in a hurry. It doesn't take much at all. This takes a little bit of practice. I had a bunch of these cut up because I just knew, whoops, I just crunched my hello. I didn't mean to do that. I think that one. And I'm kind of also pushing them and kind of turning it around and letting the petals kind of pop up a little bit. So if you want a little more pop, then use foam adhesive circles or squares. But this is going to be a page in a journal, so I'm not super concerned about how popped up it's going to be. It doesn't need a lot of height and depth for me. I'm doing the same thing here, just tucking these guys back behind. I'm always kind of mindful of how things cross over another thing. So this is going to come up here. It's going to go back behind that orange one, but it's going to cross over the line there. Something I kind of talk about often. It's part of what I think really helps the layers be what they are, is when you're mindful of how things cross over in all the places, if that makes sense. And I'm going to decide, do I want one more here? I think we'll do one more there and be good with our leaves. And so just kind of pulling everything up, and that's all those three are kind of crossing over each other there. I'm going to add the sentiment in here next. I'm going to go ahead and utilize this document the story, and I think I want it right there. So to kind of help that, actually, in this case, I do want it to pop up away from the page a little bit. I'm only going to add this 1/8 strip of foam adhesive on this far end so that it can hover over the flower on this end. It's crossing over, look at all the crossover here. It's crossing over this label, it's crossing over this stamp, and the floral, okay? So another thing I'm super interested in is this hello. And I think I really like this right here. And it's going to be a little tricky. Yeah, see, I wanted to have some foundation here with the florals. So what we're going to try and do, and sometimes this doesn't quite work like I like it to, but we're going to give it a go and see what happens. This will be a page that's closed most of the time, so it's going to have an opportunity to kind of flatten out. So I'm just hovering over the flower right now. Oh, see, that's not terrible. And that's because of the hot glue. So it's hovering over this flower right here. It's kind of got a little bit of height over here as well, so it's not just sitting flat. I don't hate that at all. And the flowers come with middles. I think I have space for one middle here, though. All right, so this little space, this little flower here, has got a bit of room for a middle. So I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue and just tap that right in there. Lift up that H, there we go. Yeah, just kind of, oh, I have room here too. Let's add one in there as well. So just a bit of hot glue. I love how pointy this Sizzix gun is. Oh. Or use liquid craft glue. That's going to work perfectly too. I just have the hot glue out, so I'm just using what I have out. And then I like to kind of lift it so it's not, again, so it's not flat. Just brings great dimension, interest. I might have room under here, huh? Do you think I can fit it in there? Can she do it? I don't know if I can do it with the hot glue now that I already have my document, the story. And I think I'm going to have to lift this up. And I don't. So I might need some liquid glue for this if I'm going to make this work, and add adhesive to the backer itself. Let's see how this works. All right, so I'm going to pick up my middle. I'll add craft glue to the inside of that. I can just gently pick up my sentiment there. So this would have been better if I would have remembered to add these middles to the flowers at the beginning, but that definitely helps. It gives it a bit of a finishing touch. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Okay, another thing I'd like to add is some more sentiments. This is from the Frame Necessities, and I'm going to pop double-sided adhesive on the back of this, and I'm going to place it in this space here, a little bit under the leaf, but over the ticket. I'm trying to kind of fill in some of this opening space here. And so now that it's on there like that, there's no, you can't see underneath here. I kind of like how that plays out. There's also this stamp frame that's in here as well. Oops. That, oh, she likes that. Nope. See, we need to add, while we're sitting here, while we're hanging out here, let's go ahead and add another piece of foam adhesive to go under this circle. It's a little loose for me. And so I'm just going to pop that underneath here and give it a little bit more security. That's already better. Just need one more little square. I got to make sure now I haven't gotten, see, I don't hate that at all. Oh, I love that. I like that so much. I'm just trying to decide. See, this is where the play comes in with your elements and your pieces, and, you know, just picking this up and saying, yeah, I don't know whether this is going to work. Obviously, the green parts of this aren't going to work, but the other parts are going to work, right? Okay, so let's just make a decision. Either way we go about this, it's going to look fantastic. Just trust me. No, seriously though, if you don't just pull elements out that you enjoy playing with, or things that, you know, you just placed an order, you got some good stuff, it's so needful and helpful. Pull it out. Gather things. You saw how I gathered here. I gathered things that I knew I was going to use, and I haven't stepped outside of that yet. Rub-ons, paper. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do with the frames. Let's grab the frames and let's see how that works. I'm going to pop that right there. I love frames for so many reasons. I love how you can see the stamp behind it. I almost feel like we might need a little bit more inking here with our ledger stamp. Okay, so what I'm going to do for that is I'm just going to kind of ink the edge here. I'm not going to ink the whole entire stamp. And I'm going pretty light. But I think it needs just a little hit over here. And I'm even going to lift up here on the circle element we have and gently pull that out. Oh, that wasn't very gentle, was it? but it's okay. It worked. So maybe be mindful. Watch this whole thing first and realize, oh, she's going to want some more stamping there. That kind of can help sometimes to know where this is heading before you start laying all your elements down. I think I have one more little touch I want to add here. Now, this is the other side of the pattern paper from Oak Lane in which these orange flowers were crafted from. So I'm going to, I don't know, this is about almost 1.5 inches wide. So I'm cutting about a square. I'm going to V-notch it again. This is just something I do again and again. It's a really, really simple way to utilize your paper. And I think it has a nice addition to just a little thing like this. So just a little V-notch. And I think, well, let's make it a little shorter. So that was 1.5 inches wide, right? Let's try it close to 1 inch and tuck it in there again. And I don't think I want it over, although that's not terrible. I do think I want it under. See all those pieces that are sticking out? Isn't that great? Yeah, I think because I'm kind of, yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna just, I have the craft glue right there, just grabbing that. I'm gonna turn this so I can lift my pieces just a little bit. I love the contrast of the gingham. Super subtle and sweet. I'm gonna bring it down below the ticket a little bit, and I want that V to show, but I also want to make sure it's even. Okay, so what I would do next, and this you might not want to watch this part. I'm just warning you now. So super pretty. I love how this turned out. Now what I would do next, remember this is just one page and we can come in here and we can add elements to this side too. Just kind of repeat this and maybe come up high on this side. One of the things I would do though is I'd come along here and I'd add lines. I'm probably not going to do it yet, but that's just one way I would add. I like lines. I like being able to write inside a space, and that just might be something I might do. So next time you see this, you might be seeing a full O journaling and just kind of hand, not perfectly straight lines going across, because I just kind of like that whole vibe. But that's just one way to bring artfulness to a thankful place, right? By just bringing in, and again, you could pop in a photo right here, and this would be a lovely scrapbook page, which still needs your journaling. Please don't forget the journaling part. That's just so integral. You could add, and I probably might, you could add a butterfly up in here very beautifully with a rub-on. You could make all this the journaling side, and then you could just have this all photos if you wanted. But the question remains, even for you, is what are you gathering this gratitude season? Are you taking notice of the beauty that can be found everywhere and anywhere? I hope so. And I hope you'll take advantage of these spaces inside your journal, inside a journal maybe you just made. I know for me, this is going to be a lovely addition to this journal. I'm just going to add it back into these back pages here where I have some blank space. And I might actually even just add it here on the one side. So then I have even more space if I'm going to want to layer in some more artfulness into my gratitude journal. So if you have any questions about anything that we shared today, please let me know in the comments. And I hope that you'll share and tag me up the things that you are making this gratitude season as well.